Greetings of the day, everyone, and a very warm welcome on the maiden episode of DigiPay series in conversation with Pete Tiliakos from NelsonHall. So, Pete, 2020 started on a very surprising note for all of us, and we saw disruption across organizations, across geographies, across sizes, across sectors, and I guess everyone was in for surprise. We saw workplaces getting disrupted. We saw a whole lot of compliance burdens coming on the payroll professionals. And not even that, even the business fundamentals saw a huge shift. So in this reset era, Pete, how do you see the payroll evolving? What are the key trends that none of the payroll professionals can afford to ignore? Some quick bites from your side, Pete.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly 2020 has been the year we want to forget and hope it will go away. But I think it's also been a bit of a wake-up call as well in some regards. So I think, first of all, a lot of what we saw was the acceleration of the future of work. All the things we've been talking about, the digital adopters, the cloud platforms have been sort of thrust into the forefront. But nothing more than certainly payroll, right? I think what we learned coming out of this is two things. I think one, a lot of firms learned they weren't ready for this sort of thing. They weren't ready for this kind of volatility. They weren't in a resilient model, right? Their infrastructure was unprepared. Their operating model was fundamentally unprepared, and quite frankly, they weren't able to pivot easily to work from home. They struggled to get access data to meet some of those compliance challenges, particularly when it came to reaching out and obtaining government support to keep their businesses afloat. They struggled. And so I think we see a lot of firms now stepping back and saying, hey, this is the chance to correct that. We're behind. We need to make some steps forward. And a lot of that's starting with things like cloud platforms and beginning to start to look at modernizing the infrastructure. But I think the other sort of side of the coin here to this is that HR and Payroll have a chance to hit the reset button, to break down all of those old ways and potentially, hopefully, convince the business to step into the future and bring them forward with the capabilities that they need. We certainly see payroll being as important now as it ever has been, and only escalating in importance, with the employee experience being so important, financial wellness being a big deal. And now employees dispersed at home, right? And even starting to evolve into the work from anywhere. We're going from sort of work from home over to a work from anywhere situation where having modern infrastructure, having a modern delivery model is going to be absolutely critical to maintain that employee experience, keeping employees paid, maintaining compliance, and fundamentally enabling the business with the data. I think while it's a very scary time, it's also somewhat of a very exciting time for a lot of things when we think about the opportunity to transform, as we move ahead.
Absolutely, Pete. And I guess they can't afford to keep status quo. And it's important that there is an acceleration to look at cloud. There is an acceleration to look at modern technology platforms. And there is an acceleration to look at how you can mitigate by adopting some outsourcing measures as well, so that the businesses don't disrupt and we don't find ourselves in the situation that we did. Thanks, Pete. That was an interesting discussion, an interesting opening discussion, I would say, and I'm looking forward to many more such interesting topics to be discussed in the due course. Do stay tuned, everyone. There's more coming your way. See you soon.